was very interesting that while there was a test match going on in Nagpur and we were all watching there, all of us had an eye on what was happening in Brisbane. You get the Ashes in Australia once in 4 years, and so there's a lot of talk around it. In fact, far more talk than I would have liked. And what I found very interesting as a result was the match turned on the basis of a good, back to the wall, gritty, slow century. Steve Smith's 100 took 7 hours, and that was what turned the match around from 76 for 4 to about 325. It is what England needed but did not have. And that is the glory of Test match cricket. For 3 days, the two teams looked at each other eye to eye, occasionally lip to lip, and you didn't know which way the game was going. And then when the game went away, it was like tug of war. When someone yanked a little stronger, there was nothing left in the opposition. And England will be very, very disappointed with that. From Australia's point of view, the big guns all got at least one good innings in. The big guns, Smith got 100, Warner got a big innings in the run chase, Nathan Lyon bowled beautifully. I thought Nathan Lyon was the best Australian bowler on view. Stark got wickets as well, so did Hazelwood. In my mind, those are the big five. But what happened to the support cast? You always look at the support cast. Marsh got a half century, Bancroft got a very good score on debut, and Pat Cummins played what could potentially be a series-changing support role, and he was always there fresh to come in. So 8 players looking good for Australia. What's happened with England? You could look at it two ways. You could say, look, David Malan got runs, Stoneman got runs, Vince got runs. They got them in one innings though, but the support cast did well. In spite of that, they lost. Or you could say, look, the support cast is doing all right. Once Root and Cook start scoring runs, we'll be all right. But I think that's the more optimistic view. For too long, Root has been scoring pretty 50s, 60s. Those look good on the average, they don't win you matches. But I always thought that the key to this series from England's point of view was how quickly are they sending Alastair Cook back, and that happened in both innings. Cook's career is not quite on a free fall, but is on a little bit of a downturn. After 2012, he's looking very different. He used to give you a century every 6.7 innings. He's now giving you a century every 14.25 innings, and Ashes is 10 innings. He could actually play to par and not score 100 in the Ashes, and that is hurting England enormously. There's one other thing that's hurting England. After Anderson and Broad, there's not a lot in terms of the bowling, so the batsmen are breathing free. And I think there's one other factor with England as well. How much are they thinking of Ben Stokes? If they're thinking, what if Ben Stokes was here instead of Jake Ball? What if Bairstow was 7, Moeen Ali was 8, Wokes was 9? Then they're thinking of who they do not have. There's a flutter when Ben Stokes goes to the airport, but he's going to New Zealand. He's not going to Australia. So I think the faster England forget that Ben Stokes is not available, then the faster they will come back into this series. But there's one number that's working against them. When Australia win the first test match, they win 20 Ashes out of 27. These Aussies are not giving England a toe in. You can hear talk about how Adelaide under lights is the fastest pitch. You can hear talk about all that. But I think this is about England's character coming back. If you're to come back, they have to come back through Cook or Root, Anderson or Broad. When the going is against you, the big guns stand up. So when you watch the second test, watch for these 4. Otherwise, I think England are in trouble. We've done quite a few videos on this channel now, and I've been told that you quite enjoy them. So if you really do, why don't you like, why don't you share, why don't you leave a comment behind, and do subscribe to the channel.